I think it's always best to start with like introducing yourself and your music, and then I'll ask you a few questions.
Okay, sounds good. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Nickel. I am a 20-year-old singer-songwriter, and my debut single is just coming out. It's called Scream. It'll be released on August 6th. Um, yeah.
Okay. So who are like your biggest influences musically?
I would say some of my biggest influences would be artists like Taylor Swift, the 1975, Hosier, and then also Julie Andrews, she sings a lot of really cool musical theater stuff, which her range is fantastic. Love that.
Yeah, that's a really like dope combination.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And I guess to kind of go off of that, who or what inspires you, whether it's like family, friends, artists.
Yeah, I definitely would say um my mom inspires me a lot. Um she was a musician kind of in her past career, if that makes sense. And she's taught me everything I know about music before I started college to study music. Um, Also, just my friends also inspire me and my family. Really, um, anyone who I can help like celebrate their accomplishments with really inspire me because it's really cool to see where people come from and then see how they like accomplish their dreams, and it's kind of really fun to cheer them on along the way. And then it's inspirational for me to kind of see like, okay, yeah, i can I can accomplish my dreams as well.
Yeah, I think that's always, it's great when you see the people around you achieving stuff because then it kind of pushes you forward too.
Yes, yeah.
So my next question, it's my favorite one to ask, and it's just kind of how does your life influence your art, and how does your art kind of influence your life?
So my life influences my art in that the music I write, a lot of times the topics are stem from like a personal experience I have, or a story or something that I have either come across in my life or a friend has told me or a friend has experienced in their own way. Yeah, I also get a lot of like creative influences through like being in nature and trying like new things. So either trying new foods or meeting new people. Um, yeah.
Um, so my next question is, what are your goals for the next year?
So my goals for the next year. So I'm planning on releasing not only a single in the next week, but also I'm releasing an EP, um, which has about 3 more songs on it. And then my goal is to record an album after that, and then just keep working on music, keep performing, um, keep writing, keep, co-writing with anyone. That's always fun too. Yeah.
So I only have one more like official question,
Mhm.
and then what I like to do is open it up so that we can have a conversation about anything you'd want to talk about. And yeah, so
Okay.
my last question is just like, what do you have in the works? Anything you'd want to plug right now? And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now, I'm releasing a single on Friday, so in like 2 days. Very exciting stuff. It was a lot of work to put through. It's kind of my first time through the whole releasing music deal. I'm so excited to release that and to have like all my hard work kind of come to a point and have everyone hear what I've been working on. Um, so after that, this EP is coming out in the fall is what I'm hoping. So it'll be about 3 more songs, and then um, which are all really fun and all really different in their own way. Um, yeah, and then this album I'm working on is also I'm hoping to be like a bigger project. Yeah, so I'm currently in the early stages of that. And then I hope by the fall I'll be able to record and then release that. And then, we'll see where we go from there. Hopefully some more music, just kind of keep the ball rolling. Yeah.
That's really exciting. I'm excited to hear everything when it comes out.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very exciting. Yes.
And yeah, like I said, this is where I like to kind of open it up. Anything you'd want to talk about or have an audience know, just to kind of have that space as an artist.
Awesome. Yeah, so I guess the main thing is, even though I base a lot of the songs that I write on my own life and my own personal experiences, um, in the end, it's not really about me in the end. Like the music is meant for each person to take and make their own and relate to in their own ways. Um, I mean, I can I can get into the nitty gritty detail of why I wrote each line every way if I wanted to, but you know, that's kind of good to leave some space for everyone to kind of make their own interpretations and um, draw the parts of each song to them that really connect and resonate with them. Yeah, so that's kind of something I've been working on a lot in my music. Um, other than that, there's not too much more I have to say. Yeah, I mean, so my single's coming out August 6th. Um, there's a lot of cool things production wise that I was able to work on with that. I was able to experiment with some whistle tones. So in the like last chorus of it, so keep your ears out for that. Super fun. There's also some like Taylor Swift influences from like We Are Never Getting Back Together. There's some aspects of that which I think are really cool. Um, yeah, and let's see what else. Yeah, I mean, every musician I've worked with on these recordings have been phenomenal. Um, I've been super impressed with not only how like talented they are, but also how flexible. Like in the studio, I was able, if I say, "Oh, can we make something sound a little bit more like one specific sound or something?" They were very like open to anything. Yeah, so I guess like keep your keep your ears and your eyes open for more to come musically from me. Yes.
Well, with your single and your EP dropping, would you mind maybe talking more about the process of really creating it and getting the product that you wanted from it?
Yeah. So before I started recording this EP, I kind of thought, oh, the songs are done, songs are ready, but it's a lot more like behind the scenes, more than just going into the studio, clicking the record button, and then that being done. So it was really interesting to find out like how much work the pre-production was for this EP, like making sure all the notes are like, notes, like when you're writing out, what you want to sound like where. Um, and then also just being able to describe to other people what you hear in your own head of what you think want the song to sound like. Because initially, I'd only played a lot of the songs only on like piano, and I was like, how do I explain to someone how to play this on guitar in a way that won't like um, won't compete with anything else, but will also complement. Um, so that was definitely a learning experience throughout this whole process. But I think in the end, we really came through both like more educated on how to record everything and like um, how to communicate in the studio, but also just also more flexible and better musicians overall. So it's really cool. Yeah, so I didn't actually mix or master this album. So I had the pleasure of working with Aiden Sloppy, and he was able to mix everything for me and really helped elevate and bring everything that I wanted but wasn't quite able to get myself, and was able to kind of build all that up and really make it what I wanted it to sound like. Yeah.
Well, I know from the Bluebird kickoff event, I remember your performance and it was really great. So I already know like the sound is going to be amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited to release it. It'll be a really good first release, I want to say. Very good debut in my I'm happy with where it's at. Yeah.
First release is always, it's like the most exciting, but also the scariest. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's really funny. Like I haven't like people will come up to me, like my friends and stuff, and will say like, "Oh, your song is coming out on Friday," and it's like, is it like it doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like, it's more like it's just another Friday and then just happens to be happening on the same day. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like detached from it in that way, but even though I've, poured my heart and soul into this song, it still doesn't quite feel like it's coming out yet.
I know exactly what you mean. I've done that a couple of times and I'll have to remind myself like, oh hey, you have a song coming out, or where I have a label back home, it's like, oh, we have something that's dropping this week.
Yeah. Yeah. You just released a song recently, right?
I did back in June.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. That's exciting.
Hopefully an album in a few weeks. We're finishing it up. So that's,
Nice. That's awesome.
yeah. And a lot of releases from friends right now, which is,
Mhm.
I'm usually there when they're recording. So it's always like, okay, I know this song. I'm happy for other people to know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. It's always fun to see how other people record in the studio and see other people's processes and see how it all kind of comes together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're really lucky because we have a little home studio, and one of our people, like her basement, is now completely sectioned off to be a home studio and a meeting place. So,
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So, what would you say would be your dream collaboration?
My dream collaboration. Oh, there are a lot of artists. So I would want to work with Maisie Peters. She's kind of a smaller artist right now, but I think in a couple years she'll be like really popular. Yes. So Maisie Peters, Casey Musgraves would be a lot of fun. Like her Golden Hour album is so good. Like zero skips on that album for me. So I'm like, oh, that'd be so much fun. Yeah, who else? Yeah, I think like Orla Gartland would also be really fun. Her songs are very individualistic. Like each one has a very different sound. So that'd be cool to kind of work with and see not only her process, but kind of collaborate and see what comes out of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also, would you be someone that wanted to collaborate in different genres too? Because I know some people are interested in it, some people are a little more on the fence about it, but I think it's an interesting thing to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely open to like helping collaborate and in any genre really. I definitely would have to like listen to some songs. Like if it's like a math rock song or something, I would have to like know kind of what vibe we're getting into before I just start writing. But yes, yeah, like I don't know, like last year I helped co-write Kaylee's song Electra, Lady Bird's Electra that came out back in June. Which was I don't really write like punk sounding music that often, but I listen to a lot of it. So it was really, really fun to kind of write in a genre outside of what I normally would sing personally, but it's still a lot of fun and more upbeat, and you can put some different kind of imagery in different genres than you can as easily in others. So Yeah.
I feel like that's also really true, like as a producer, I've noticed. Because I mostly produce R&B, but last back in January, I think. I don't know if you know Maria.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her album dropped in February,
Hmm.
and I actually produced one of the songs on it, and I was like, it was like an EDM and pop, and that's not my usual thing, but I was like, I'll try, and it was really fun because it was different.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always fun to like jump into new genres and try things out and kind of step outside of those like musical comfort zones that like I don't know. I personally feel like I get stuck in the same things, which if it works well, it works well, but sometimes it's nice to step out and try new things and experiment a little bit. Always a good time.
I
Yeah.
I completely understand that. I feel like I'm always making like one type of sound, or if I'm practicing, that's classical music, and that's like it. But it's nice to kind of try new things sometimes and see what happens.
Yes, it is. Sometimes trying new things can make a whole new like aspect of your song or something that you didn't even think of initially, but grows into something really cool. So
I think that experience helps with your growth as an artist,
yeah, yes it does. Yes it does.
which is always very important. We love to see artists grow.
Yeah, it's always cool too to see artists like experiment with multiple genres or and then like you can kind of see, oh wow, they really are a versatile like musician and can really work in any different genre that's thrown at them. And yeah, that's really cool. Really speaks to each musician's like talent and skill, and it's
Mhm.
awesome.
I think it's interesting when you see like musicians that have other talents that can kind of contribute to their music,
Mm-hmm.
like photographers, videographers, but also doing music at the same time. I think it's nice to see. It's very motivating.
It is, yeah. It's always cool too, like especially musicians who are photographers or videographers can have a greater say in how they want the visual aspect of their music to, you know, be produced. Definitely something I need to work on more. I am not like the greatest photographer. Oh my gosh, I would love to be. Um, so that's definitely something I'm learning about and beginning that journey. But always so cool to see, all that fun stuff. Yeah.
I think photography is really interesting. Um, it's definitely something that you have to work at, but like I don't know, it's nice. Like
It is, yeah. I definitely like even seeing photos of like concert photography. I don't know how photographers do all that. Like they have such like in the moment shots and they portray such emotion, and it's so crazy that they can do that with like just a click of a button. It seems, but there's way more to it than that. But they definitely capture the essence of the artist, and yeah.
well, to kind of go with the idea of visuals, with your music, is there any like visual you see like very clearly, like this is like it's yours?
Yeah. So there are sometimes when I'm like listening to the music I'm writing or the production of it or anything, I kind of start to see like either an imaginary world that this song is kind of like living in, or like a central color or kind of vibe of each song. And I feel like for this EP that I'm releasing, a lot of it is kind of centered around this color blue. And it's called Blue Skies, so that that makes sense. So it's um yeah, but it's a nice like because there's imagery of like the ocean and also like birds flying in the air, and there's just blue all over the place to me in this album, so or EP. So I see a lot more colors than like a whole like image, but it's really interesting. Yeah.
I I'm actually the same way. I see more so a color scheme that I want to work with and then kind of go off of that. Um, like with the song I did with my friends that we're releasing very soon. Love it. I'm really excited for it. It's called like Red Light. So obviously, the color you think of when you hear it is red. You know, it's just, it has that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, yeah, some songs you definitely feel like kind of the darker vibe or like the red vibe or just like the bright kind of a sparkly vibe. It really just depends on the instrumentation and the production of the song. I think really can carry the color scheme of the music. Yeah.
It's nice that someone else understands what I mean when I'm like, I see a color scheme specifically.
Yeah, yeah. And like some songs are like different shades of a color. Like it's not just like one specific, it's not like red. Like some are like darker, some are brighter. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you think of, I don't know, an artist like Saweetie, for example, that's just the first one that came to my mind. Like, I immediately think like baby pinks and diamonds. Like, that's kind of her branding, but it works.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It definitely does. Yeah, I always wonder when artists like choose a color and brand it. I always wonder if they get sick of that color at some point. But then I guess, you can always change the branding, right?
Yeah.
But
I I also think that about one of my friends, Danilo. I feel like everybody knows Danilo, but that could be wrong. Uh, I'm pretty sure like you can tell he's kind of going towards these blues and purple tones. I haven't brought it up to him, but like I do notice it, and I'm like, I see that.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely think some people like they really like stick with the vibe of like the color vibe or whatever and just kind of take it and run with it and see how far it goes. Yeah.
I kind of saw it in a video once about it's a good way to start branding as a new artist, which is interesting. To kind of have that layout that you want.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I haven't heard that, but that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a YouTube video that someone had sent.
Okay. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, can you send that to me? That's really cool.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Awesome. That's dope, man. Cool.
If there is anything you want to talk about music wise, any topic really, because that's kind of the point. I feel like as artists, we don't get to have conversations with each other enough. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always nice to like talk to a different artist, talk to another artist and like who's kind of, doing the same thing, releasing music independently and, kind of seeing where each other's at and cheering each other on as we can. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You did bring up a good point with releasing independently. I feel like it's a little different, but you know, it's a learning experience for sure.
Yes, it is. Yeah, there's definitely there's more to it at music. I'm learning through this whole process that goes on behind the scenes and you kind of just see, oh, the song is out. But there's so much more that comes behind it. The writing process, the producing project process, recording, and then like promotion and planning how you're gonna do the marketing for it is its own whole like project in itself, it seems like. But
And
it's really fun.
sending it to playlists and
Yeah.
blogs. That's a whole other process, truly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Sending emails, promoting it, telling people this is out, and then hearing responses back of, yes or no, or yeah.
And I feel like as a newer artist, getting the responses for playlists is always harder because it you're new, they're a little more skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it does work out. You just have to find the right one.
Yes, yes, it does. Yeah, gotta promote enough, and then if you get enough no's, someone will say yes eventually, right? And
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the best way to look at it.
exactly. Someone will say yes. Someone will give you a chance. You just gotta keep pushing to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I'm just going to offer this because after I finish this project, one thing I want to do is just write with more people. So if you'd ever like to have a writing session for fun, I'm always down. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. That'd be really cool. Yeah. We could either create a new genre or or blend something or
Yeah. So
work in whatever. Yeah.
just see what happens.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. See what happens. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be fun.
'Cause that's one thing I just want to do more when I can kind of step back is just work with more people and
Mhm.
see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like working with more people, I mean, you have a lot more opinions, but you get more opinions. So you hear people's like, you don't have to all make all the decisions by yourself. You have some other people giving feedback or just, combining two decisions as or, options or whatever. So always helpful.
And sometimes the finished product is always like it's never what you think it would be, but it ends up being something really great.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's always better than you think it would be, but it's not what you imagine it. It's always different. Yeah.
And I feel like that's always a fun process to see what happens.
It is, yeah. It's always fun. Always kind of just letting the music take you wherever it goes and kind of just following that and seeing what happens, seeing sometimes that's when the best music comes out.
Yeah, like this is an example I was thinking of. There's a song with me, Maria, and Donovan, and originally Donovan wasn't on the song. He was just helping us write, but then he wrote this verse, and it was like perfect for him.
Hmm.
But it fit really well, and we were like, "Hey, do you want to just be on the song with us?" And he's like, "Yeah."
That's awesome. Yes. Collaboration is always important. And, adding artists makes some really great records. Yeah.
And it's always a great way to make more connections with
Hmm.
it.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And then you can send that song to people later on and be like, hey, I'm working on this. Either opinions or do you want to add something to it? Or, yeah, it's really cool.
It's nice to build that community around your work.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah.
If that's all, uh, thank you so much for being a part of this. It means the world to me. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. This was so much fun and such a great opportunity. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. Thank you.